Hi guys, welcome back to another League of Dungeoneers video. Um, if you've been watching, I know most of you don't watch all my videos all the way through or anything, but so if you watched my last video, my party wiped. I had a party wipe. Everybody died, pretty brutally. I got surrounded by. I had 5 ratkin in the front, and then a wandering monster of 3 giant spiders came up from behind, and that was just way too much for me. And they ended up taking Rothgar down, my half-ogre barbarian. And once he went down, that was kind of it. You know, I put him in a good position, and he went stupid for like 2 turns, and then he used his frenzy, and then out of the potential 8 hits you can get out of frenzy, I think he only got 1. And it was a pretty low damage one at that. So, you know, it happens. It is what it is. I was a little frustrated, but it's fine. So I was thinking about creating a new party. Obviously, I'm not going to stop playing. I'm going to keep playing the game. And my first thought was, so I started looking at my mistakes. And the big mistake I made was Rothgar was really my only viable, like, melee combatant. He's the only one I could just charge right in and just put him in combat and know he's going to be okay. He had armor, he had high hit points, he had high damage. And could defend himself effectively. Both Kite and Alsace were okay in melee, but couldn't really defend themselves. So they really relied on like Rothgar to tank all the hits. Same with me, but I had 3 kind of fragile characters, and then 1 guy that could actually hold his own. So I was like, okay, I need more of a melee presence for my next party, and not so many like hybrid utility style characters. And I need more healing. So I really didn't have the ability to heal. I had no healing potions. I had no priest. All I had was the healing skill with my rogue. That was my primary healer. And my rogue also couldn't really do damage. So, you know, I really like him, but that mix just wasn't good. So my initial thought was I wanted to make a party of 4 dwarves, have a thematic party that way. And I decided on going with dwarf warrior, a dwarf knight, war priest, and alchemist. So the logic there is you'd have the warrior and knight both be on the front lines, taking the blows, dealing heavy damage. Doing great with that. You also get good barter skill with the knight, and the warrior actually gets a decent healing ability as well. I did roll up characters for these. And then the war priest obviously gives you the healing. Gotta have healing. And with the alchemist will allow me to start with some healing potions and be able to create healing potions pretty effectively. And so the big glaring need there is you don't have a thief. Or rogue type, and later on you can use I was going to make the alchemist an artificer specialization, and he gets some special stuff that allows him to like disarm traps and open locked doors. So he can effectively be that guy, that thief like disarming traps and whatnot at higher levels with the right equipment. And because they're all dwarves, they'll have higher strengths. And 3 out of the 4 characters can wear plate armor. So that was kind of the idea there. Hold on one second. I'm just going to let my dog outside. Okay, I'm back. So I liked it. I really liked the idea. I thought it'd be a good balance. You'd have the war priest would be your primary healer. Alchemist would be your secondary healer. You'd have 2 strong melee fighters, with the war priest being a 3rd potentially, and then the alchemist I was going to try to give him a crossbow. And he can lob potions and do area effect damage and things like that later on too. So I was really excited about that. And then I rolled up the characters. And dwarves stats are a little tricky for character creation because they get bonus strength, but they lose dex and wisdom, which dex and wisdom are responsible for all of your starting stats. They're really the opposite of elves. So elves at level 1 start with really high skill levels because they get bonuses to dex and wisdom, which are responsible for every single skill except foraging and prayer. Whereas dwarves get penalties to those. So dwarves have the lowest starting skill levels in the game. So I think my warrior had like a combat skill of like 44. Like 44% chance to hit for a warrior. And they were all like that. They were all below 50. Which, just less than I was used to. And it's like, all right, you know, I can still play them. You know, I'd have to power attack basically every attack with them. And if they get wounded, they probably wouldn't be able to hit very well. So, like, they'd still be all right, but I became a little bit less excited to play them. I'm still going to play them at some point, probably on my next campaign. But I decided, you know, I just got a little turned off by it. I want a little bit more experience with the game first, and kind of items and how to use them. And, you know, I haven't even used a torch yet, right? Like basic stuff like that, or rope. Before I dive into something like that. And I think dwarves are great, but their real strength lies in their strength. Being able to roll a character with 50 to 60 strength, because you can start a character with 55 strength at level 1, and if you're a warrior, you can pick your own weapon. That means you can pick one of the two-handed class 5 weapons, like a great axe or a great sword, and start with that with damage bonus. You know, for a warrior, for example, you can pick a great axe, which is 1d12 plus 2 at 55 strength, and then if you then take there's a warrior talent that gives you a damage bonus, and then you get damage bonus for 50. So you're hitting 1d12 plus 4. That's a pretty awesome attack. For level 1, you're one-shotting those things. So that's great for a warrior. It's fine for a knight too. Not so great for a war priest or a alchemist. Dwarf alchemist is a little off. So anyway, I was eating dinner and the idea hit me. You know, the best character I had obviously was my ogre. Good old Rothgar, right? And he was a lot of fun, and he was like a superhero, and you never kind of knew what he was going to do. He was just killing shit. So I was like, hey, what if instead of doing all dwarves, I did all ogres? They can only be 3 classes anyway. They could only be warrior, barbarian, and rogue. So that's what I did. I'm going to go with 3 ogres, warrior, barbarian, and rogue. And to balance it out, I'm taking an elven war priest. So he's like my little beastmaster. And then I got my little, the triplets here, who are just badass and too dumb to know what to do. And this little guy's like the little mastermind, kind of directing them and keeping them alive. So these guys get to rush in and just wreak absolute carnage wherever they go. And this guy gets to patch them up. And that's gonna be gameplay. And that excited me. I was eating dinner and I thought of that, and that got me going. So it may be a little cheap, but it sounds like a lot of fun. And I died with my characters at level 2, level 1 last time. So I'm like, all right, it's okay for me to just go for something a little overpowered, especially in the beginning. So I rolled up these 4 characters. I had really good rolls for them, for character creation. actually, you can... Yeah, you can see some of their rolls right there. So we got 5, 8, 9, 10, 1 with a 7 for hit points. 4, 9, 7, 2 10s with a 10 for hit points. And 2 8s, 2 10s, and a 1 with a 7 for hit points. And then two 9s, a 6, a 7, and a 10 with a 5 for hit points on the War Priest. So very good rolls. And what we ended up with, I'll show you the characters. So we're going to start with Choppa. He is the half ogre warrior. It's going to be this guy right here, Choppa. He is level 1. He's going to start with 62 strength with a +3 damage bonus because of his warrior's talent. He has 50 constitution, giving him 1 natural armor, 45 dex, 16 wisdom, 45 resolve, 20 hit points. He can one-hand class 4, two-hand class 5s. He starts with a combat skill of 55, range skill 50, dex 45, pick lock 25, barter 1, heal 6, alchemy 1, perception 6, but forging 45. And he's wielding a great axe. Like I said, so kind of gave this example for the dwarf, but works a little bit better on a ogre. And the idea here is you'd actually start with 50 plus 10 for starting strength. So I think I only gave him a couple points. And then you get your 15 additional points so that you can purchase. So for all 3 ogres, for their 15 points, I gave them 10 to dex. And I gave their highest rolls to dex as well. And then I just divided up, the other 5 to try to get bonuses for strength or constitution if I was a point or 2 off. That's pretty much how that worked out. So he has a great axe. He's using it with both hands. It's a 1d12 plus 2. Slow, built for offense with armor piercing of 2. But because of his +3 bonus, it's a 1d12 plus 5 weapon, and it has 3 points of durability damage. He also starts with a leather jacket, offers 3 defense to his arms and his torso, and it's missing 1 point of durability. I also purchased 6 rations with him, so he has 120 coins remaining. I didn't buy much. And then his talent, he has Tough Mind, +2 max sanity. Stupid, loses his turn in combat on a 6. Mighty Blow, +1 damage bonus. And Disciplined, he gets +10 to his resolve and gives +5 to all other heroes for their resolve. So he's the natural leader. And then he has Heroic Force of Will. And then for his background, he has Fables. He wants to visit quest sites in the Ancient Land. If he visits 3 of them, he gets 1,500 experience. 1 time. Then we have Crasher, the half-ogre barbarian. Hell yeah. So he's like Hrothgar's younger cousin. All right. He's level 1. He's going to have 60 strength with a +2 damage bonus. He's going to start with 55 constitution, giving him 2 natural armor, 44 dex, 19 wisdom, 47 resolve, 22 hit points. Same. So very, very similar stats. His combat skill is going to be a 59, so a little higher. Range skill 44, dodge 49, pick locks 24, barter 4, heal 9, alchemy 1, perception 14, and foraging 40. He's going to have a great sword. So I probably should have, the artwork would have been better if I switched them. But I felt like mixing it up. So he's going to have a great sword, which does 2d6 damage and is slow. So it doesn't, the great axe gets a -10 to parry, effectively. The great sword gets a -5, is effectively what that means. So he's going to do 2d6 plus 2, which is 4 to 14. And with the axe, it's 6 to 17. So a little bit, definitely less damage, but it gives him an additional 5 onto his parry, which I don't know. Probably should have just gone with great axes, both of them. But I thought it would be interesting. He has no armor at all. And he did not buy anything. He still has 150 coins. He is tough mind and stupid, heroic force of will, and he has his frenzy. And then his background is new home. He lost his home as a child, and he's always wanted a new one. So if you purchase the Burgmeister estate, he gets a one-time bonus of 1500 XP. And then we have Throat Slit, our half-ogre rogue. He still has similar stats to the others. He's going to have 60 strength with a +2 damage bonus, 50 constitution with a 1 natural armor, 45 dex. There's a -5 there because he has a medium backpack. 19 wisdom, 48 resolve, 18 hit points. So same, he can one-hand class 4s and two-hand class 5s. His combat skill is 45, range skill 45, dodge 45, pick locks 45. So he's my lock picker, trap disarmer. So he's got that covered. Barter 24, which is pretty good too. Heal 19, so maybe he could get that up over time. Alchemy 1, Perception 19, that's pretty bad. No Arcane, no Prayer. And Forging 50, so he's got my highest Forging score. Although all three of them have pretty good Forging scores. He does not get to pick his starting weapon though, so he starts with a Rapier, which is 1d6 + 1, and fast, so he can attack twice and then still parry, even without a shield. And because of his 2 damage bonus, it's a 1d6 + 3. With 1 point of durability damage. He also starts with a padded jacket with 1 point of durability damage, which gives 2 defense to his arms and torso. He also starts with 10 lockpicks. Like I said, medium backpack. Medium backpack gives you a -5 to your dex score and +10 to your encumbrance, max encumbrance. So that's one of the other huge advantages. 62, 62. Oh, that should be a 60. I wrote that wrong. 62, 60, and 70 for max encumbrance. So very, very good right off the bat. These guys can start wearing whatever heavy armor they want. So he has heroic force of will for a perk. Tough mind, stupid, same as before. And then he has streetwise, which gives you -1 to availability rolls. So it's easier for him to find equipment in town. And backstabber, he ignores all armor and natural armor when attacking from behind. Medium backpack. And then his background is bad-tempered. He gets a permanent -2 to party morale, and which I factored in, but a +2 max sanity. So his max sanity is actually a 12. So not much bothers him. And then we have Brightstar, our Elven War Priest. So rolled him up. He's going to have 2 energy because he's a War Priest. Starts with 32 strength, 26 constitution, but he's going to start with 54 dex and 55 wisdom, as well as 44 resolve, because he took that factors in the talent confident, which gives +5 to his starting resolve. 12 hit points, and he can equip class 2 weapons one-handed, class 3 two-handed. He starts with a 54 combat skill, 44 range skill, 49 dodge, so actually pretty good combat scores. 34 pick locks, 45 barter, 60 heal, 50 alchemy, 55 perception, 59 prayer, and a 6 in forging. So he covers all of the other bases that we're missing. He can still fight in melee if he needs to. He could even fight range potentially. His dodge score is decent. He can even be a backup lockpicker maybe. His barter score, 45, is great. That's more than enough for a starting character. Heal of 60 is great. And he has an alchemy of 50. So the way I did that is you get to pick one skill stat that has a negative. And War Priest has a -15 to their alchemy. So I gave the +10 to that, so it was only a -5. That's why it's 55 wisdom. That means a 50 alchemy. That's good. That's a good score. That's a 50% chance of getting alchemical ingredients. He can more than make potions. It's going to take him a little bit longer than an alchemist, sure, but he will eventually get up there. 55 perception is just fine as well, as far as searching rooms and things like that. So he's going to be able to, especially if I give him a torch, it's going to bump that up to 60. Somebody else searches with him, it's a 70% chance searching a room. Just fine. And almost a 60% chance on his prayers, so he's going to be good. Fixes all those gaps. And for weapon, I gave him a javelin. He can use it one-handed. It does 1d10 damage. It's class 2. And it has reach, built for offense, and armor piercing 1. It's missing 3 points of durability. So I didn't know this weapon even existed until I got killed by it. Basically, it lets you attack through your allies if you're attacking directly. So if I'm fighting, I can have these guys up front here. He's going to try to circle around to the back, and then he can just stay in one of these positions, and he can attack through his ally with his javelin and hit this enemy here. And he can do it one-handed, which means he can have a torch in his offhand to buff their resolve, which is already high because of the warrior and the fact that they're ogres. So should do well on fear tests and things like that. So very excited. I feel like that's going to work well. He also took the Relic of Mythia, took it as a necklace, which gives plus 1d3 to all healing effects. So that's going to affect his... Oh, I forgot to select his prayers. He's going to take the healing prayer and then something else. But so if his healing prayer goes off, that goes off. But also if he heals with a bandage, it works as well. So that's going to be really cool. And he has the background apprentice. So whenever he repairs using an armor repair kit or a whetstone, instead of rolling 1d3, he just automatically repairs 3 to everything. I gave him 2 sets of bandages, one in his quick slot, one in his backpack. 2 torches, one in his quick slot, one in his backpack. And I believe that was 60 gold, yeah. So he's 90 coins remaining. And then as an elf, he has perfect hearing and night vision. So plus 10 perception, plus 1 initiative after an opening door. And then I gave him confident as a war priest, plus 5 resolve. That's already in his stats. And then he has heroic force of will. So that's it, and no armor. So I'm hoping to get to town and then purchase, a new weapon for Throat Slitter and oh yeah, he should be Throat Slitter, not Throat Slit. Yeah, your name's Throat Slitter. All right, so that's that, and I'm going to start off my campaign right now because we're 20 minutes in. Oh, and so here's the thing. I was reading through the book, and I realized I screwed up on a major rule this whole time. So that whole campaign, I screwed up on a major rule, and I made the game much harder on myself. Which is, I'm not saying it's why I died. I definitely made some errors. But I'm surprised nobody in the comments, let me know that I was screwing it up. So when you go through your turn activation, it says roll scenario die. If triggered, roll threat die. If threat roll is less than threat level, remove torches, blah, blah, blah. And roll on the threat table. Okay. So I read that and I went, okay, I'm going to roll my die. And if it's below the threat level, then I roll on one of the 2 threat tables, depending on whether I'm in combat or not. That's not what that says. The scenario die and the threat die are 2 different things. And the threat die and the threat roll are, it's not the same. So I found the wording in the book. There's actually a single paragraph about it, about the scenario die. And that confused me, and I thought it was a typo. And then I found this start of turn sequence right here. So what you actually do is you roll a d10. And only on a result of a 9 or a 10 does it trigger the threat die. So I was rolling the threat die every single turn, at the start of every combat, and right at the end of every combat. And every single time it didn't go off, I was raising the threat level. When the reality is, you're only supposed to do that 20% of the time. You're supposed to roll this, and if you get an 8 or below, you don't do anything. Only if you get a 9 or a 10 do you roll the threat die and even see if something gets made. So by that logic, I had my threat tables go off 5 times as often as they should have. I created 5 times the amount of wandering monsters and in-battle effects, and that's why I would get into combat, and that's why I was getting overwhelmed, because I would get into the second room of a dungeon, and the threat, because every single turn the threat would go up. So I'd get into a combat with threat level 2, but by the time I defeated the battle, threat level would be 10. And then I'd roll under and a wandering monster would appear, and I'd be right back in battle again. And I wouldn't have any time to heal. So that's crazy. I can't believe I did that. It's just a small little note, but yeah, I think a lot of players are probably messing that up. You roll a scenario die, and only on a 9 or 10 do you roll the threat die. You do not roll this every turn. There's a few rules that use the scenario die, but none of them came up in my game. So I think the Lantern uses them. There's a couple others. Excuse me, I'm still sick. So anyway, yeah, huge mistake. So that may make the game significantly easier, and this may be overpowered now for me to have this going on. But I already rolled the characters. They sound like fun. If I blaze through it and, end up level 10, then so be it. Then I retire them and I start a new campaign. And it'll be great. Alright, First Blood. The heroes have traveled for days and are finally nearing their destination in the village. After so long on the road, the idea of sleeping in a real bed at the inn is alluring. However, with the sun setting, you realize you must spend one more night out in the open. You find a suitable spot and make camp. Take turns keeping watch, and as usual, nothing much happens during the night. Just before dawn, though, the hero on watch suddenly snaps to high alert at the faint sound of stealthy footsteps. Realizing the potential peril, they quickly try to wake the rest of the party. As they fumble to rise, a gang of bandits charges out of the darkness. The party has been attacked by 3 bandits and 1 bandit leader. Bandit leader is equipped with a longsword. Forgot to grab the cards, as I am wont to do. Bandits. Bandit leader. Bandit leader has a longsword, shield, and armor 1. 2 bandits are equipped with short swords and have 0 armor. 1 bandit is equipped with a short bow and a dagger and has armor 0. Locate the corresponding monster cards, equipment card, blah, blah, blah. Put the wilderness tiles out. Randomize each board edge, and then place them 1d10 squares from the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So what we're going to do for each one is we're going to roll a d8, a d10, and a d12. So we're going to start with the bandit leader. This guy right here. All right, so the d8 is 5. So we're going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's going to come from this edge. He is going to come 5 spaces down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 up. 1, 2. That's his starting location. And then we're going to do 2 melee bandits. So we get 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then he will be 1 down. So he'll be all the way up here. And then 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And then we get 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 12. So he's all the way down here. 1, 2. And then the archer. Although I guess you could. No, it does seem to randomize which board edge each bandit appears from. Yeah. All right. So second. And then 9 or 6. Sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then down 2 for the archer. All right. Bandits get +2 initiative tokens on their first turn. So they start with 6, and I start with 4. Due to the darkness, no one can see or shoot further than 10 squares. You do not use the scenario die in this battle. I don't know if you ever do. If you roll threat levels and stuff, if you're in the wilderness. Not really sure how that works. It doesn't say that I'm supposed to be prone or anything like that. All right. Oh, I also was messed up. If you've been watching my previous videos, I screwed up when it comes to enemy activations, like who's supposed to act. I was just fully randomizing it. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go in a specific order where it's like magic users, then ranged users, then characters who are already in close combat, and then everybody else. And then you randomize after that. All right. So I do get these 4. I think I'm going to move everybody up. So I'm going to start with... Oh, I should put my... I was like, why do I have so much space? Because I didn't put my stuff out. For my characters. So there's Bright Star. Throat Sweater. Choppa and Crasher. So I can see all their stats. Alright, that's better. We're going to start with Crasher. He does get to act, and he's going to go 1, 2. Do trees restrict movement? I screwed this up last time, too. I don't know where that chart is. I think you can. I think it obstructs shooting. Travel. Settlements. Okay. Okay. Campfire carts. Partially forested. Okay, it obstructs shooting effectively. So it doesn't obstruct movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he's going to go 5, 6. So it would actually be difficult for the archer to shoot at him. He would get penalties. All right. I guess I'm going to take, well, we'll roll and see if Choppa can move. Yep, he's good. 4, 5, 6. All right, and so Archer always moves first. So he's going to 1, 2, 3, and attempt to shoot. So he will shoot at Crasher. Sorry, I got to relearn the names and everything. All right, so Bandit hits. Oh, he's not very good. So he's got a range skill of 35 with that short bow. And then he's going to get a minus 20. So he needs a 15 to hit. Obviously, that's a miss. Unloaded. That ends his turn. All right, so now, that's the third time I did that. I'm going to randomize which melee character is attacking. That's going to be this guy. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he will be able to attack. I think I still have to roll, see if he parries or not. So 2, he actually goes into parry stance after moving into melee range. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna go with my War Priest and just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And we get Throat Slit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that leaves the bandit leader. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I definitely feel like I'm a lot better at this game after that first run through. So we're going to remove 2 black tokens, so it is now 4 and 4. This should be pretty easy for me at this point. With this party, you're not supposed to, I mean, having great axe and great sword like that, those are the best weapons in the game that you can just buy at the store. You know, some of them with damage bonuses. So, oh, I did want to look up power attack just to see if it's. I know you get plus 20 if you're an enemy, but I didn't really use it much. So I'm running that with my heroes, so I just want to make sure it's not. A lot of those things are a little different depending on if an enemy does it or if you do it. It looks like it allows you to reroll damage, which I didn't realize. I'm not sure if that works for enemies or not. It doesn't show that in the enemy flowchart. Power attack, yes. There's nothing in the flowchart that indicates that enemies reroll damage. But it does say large or extra large enemies do not reroll damage but get armor piercing 2 instead. So they do. Okay, so a power attack gives you plus 20 to combat skill and allows you to reroll damage. And if you get bloodlust, that's a roll of 1 through 5, like a crit. You just automatically max your damage. You don't even have to reroll on a power attack. And then you may not dodge a parry until your next turn. And it also gives the enemy plus 10 to hit against you. An enemy uses power attack, loses their 2 hit bonus. Huh. So that's more powerful than I thought. Well, anyway, it is my turn. I'm going to start with Choppa. And that is a 1. So he will power attack. Let's give this a try. I think this is the way to go. This is the other mistake I made, was I just kept trying to do regular attacks. I think probably in the first couple levels, like level 4 and below, you're going to want to power attack more often than not. It's better to get a hit, especially if it's got a damage reroll. I didn't realize that. So his base combat skill is 55 versus the bandit has a -5 to hit. That makes, he's not using a shield or anything, so that's a 50. Oh, he is using parry stance though. So that gives him a plus 10 bonus. So it's a -15. So that goes to 40. But with the power attack, I still hit on a 60. So I need a 60 or less. 007. Obviously a hit. And that's a power attack. And he uses D12 because it's a great axe. 1d12 plus 5. So I get a 5 or a 1. So 5 plus 5 is 10. And there is no armor. So he just hauls up his great axe straight above his head, cleaves it right down on top of the guy, and hits him for 10 damage. Almost cleaves him in 2. Probably lopped his shoulder off. Right there. So, not too shabby, Choppa. Great first hit. Alright. So this is going to be our range character. So he's going to move out of range of Throat Slitta. So he's going to back up. That's 2, 3, 4. That reloads his weapon as well. Then he's going to attempt to shoot. I don't think that counts. He has line of sight without that blocking. So there's going to be no penalties. But he only hits on a 35. Unless there's a separate... No, I don't think so. He's just a bandit. Yeah. So 35. 62. That's a miss. So he becomes unloaded. Alright, black token. He's in melee range, so he goes next. He loses his parry stance. He is obviously wounded. And he's going to roll to see what action he takes. 4 is a standard attack. So he is going to attempt to attack Choppa. He would hit on a 50, but he gets plus 10 because Choppa just used a power attack. So he will hit on a 60. 18, that's a hit. There's no parry or dodge allowed because of the power attack. So Choppa gets hit in the arm, and This is a short sword. It's 1d6 plus 2 for 3 damage. In the arm, and that is fully absorbed by Choppa's leather jacket. No damage, no durability damage. Not bad. All right. We're going to try Crasher. Yep, he gets his turn. So 1, 2, 3. And he is going to attack. Technically, I could have charged, but I'm just going to do regular attack, move and attack. So Crasher hits on a 59, minus 5, so 54. 32, that's a hit. And he also does a d12. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He does 2d6 with his greatsword. 10 plus 2. So he hits, he just one-shots. There's no armor. That's 12 hit points. And he just runs up, slices him in half, cuts him right through the waist, and, you know, his torso falls on the ground while his legs are still standing. And we take that token away. 1 bandit down. Good job, Crasher. Like I said, this party might be a little overpowered, but it's fun. I'm having fun, so yeah, whatever. So it's between these two guys. It's going to be the bandit leader. He's going to go up 4, and then 5, 6. I'll go right there. Now I'm going to go with my priest. So my priest can actually attack from his current position. I don't have to move him. Bright Star. So he's going to stab at that bandit with his javelin. So he gets a minus 5, and he has a 54. So he hits on a 49. That's a miss, 89. But he gets to attack again. 90. So yeah, both misses, but that's all right. Those are terrible rolls. Can't be helped. Power attack would not have helped in that situation. Then we get this dude. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just going to back up his leader. And then we have Throat Slitter. So I don't think Throat Slitter wants to engage by himself. So let's roll, see what he does. He can act, so he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to flank that last dude. And that would be the end of that turn. Very happy so far. All right. Enemy, we roll to see who acts. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The bandit acts first because he's already in range. So he's going to pick between... So he's going to attack Throat Slitter. And he's going to not parry. He's going to regular attack. And that is a 65. That's a miss. All right. We're going to have Throat Slitter go. He does get to act. Some of these tokens are so big. He will just attempt a regular attack. No, I take that back. He's going to power attack. Slide that over there. So he would normally hit on a 40, and he will now hit on a 60. 74, that is a miss. That ends his turn. token, so it's between these two. It will be this guy in the back first, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't attack, but I can climb on. Actually, I don't know if I can climb on a fallen tree like that. That might be a height thing. And that usually takes an extra movement point. The travel part and the combat part don't seem to be in the same part of the book. That always throws me off. Okay. Larger lock, -10 when shooting through. Height advantage, yes, 50%. Okay. So you cannot, it's a height advantage thing, so he can't just move on to it because he was here. So 1, 2. Oh, no, wait. He was here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he can move up there. So he moves up there. He now has height advantage. I thought he only had 1 movement point left. All right. So I will go with Choppa. He does get to act. He will attempt a regular attack on the guy in front of him. Where did my deck go? Oh, they're there. So he hits on a 50. That's a 94. Okay. So he will attack again. 57. So he missed both times. All right. This time I will activate Bright Star. He's going to move. It's going to take his full movement to move up to this position. So it's 2 out of this zone of control and 2 to go up 1. So it's using 3 movement points effectively to move up to this position. But from here, he's going to attack. Since he does have reach, he's in range either way. He's going to attack that bandit. And he will hit on a 49. So he misses, but he will face backwards for that. All right. Then we get the bandit leader. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the nearest would be Choppa, and he is from behind at this position, but he does not have the ability to attack, and that leaves Crasher. So we roll to see if he can act. He does. So he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to end that turn. Too many tokens. Okay. Not too shabby. None of my characters have been injured yet. All right. We will start with Crasher once again. He loses his turn. He gets all the way behind him, gets into the ideal position, and doesn't know what to do next. He gets overexcited. All right. So we have 2 characters in melee range, so we will randomize. So that will be the wounded one. He's got guys on all 4. He can attack all 4 of them. So I guess we'll just 1d4 it. 1, 2, 3. So he's going to attack Choppa. And he will actually just go into parry stance. Which is actually the smart move in that situation. So I'm not, well, can I fit that in there? All right. So this would be the bandit leader. The bandit leader will... Where's the detail? There it is. Bandit leader will also parry, which means he's going to do a regular attack first against Choppa. Bandit leader hits on a 60. So that's a hit. And he does 1d12. Well, first Choppa's going to attempt to dodge. Choppa's dodge is a 45. He does not. So he does get hit for 1d12. 4 in the chest. So he absorbs 3 damage. Oh, and he's from... Well, it doesn't matter because he hit anyway. But... Yeah, no, that's an attack from behind. Yeah, he's being attacked from behind. So... there's no armor behind. So the bandit leader runs up, stabs Choppa in the back for 4 damage. And Choppa drops from 20 to 16. Yeah, armor is only in the front. They have cloak armor that affects the back. All right. Because his back is turned, I'm going to try Choppa's turn now. 2. Okay. So Choppa is going to turn around. And he is going to power attack the bandit leader. So the bandit leader has a minus 15 to hit. Choppa has 55, so that would be a 60 on a power attack. 35, he hits. So he turns. So he gets stabbed in the back, grimaces, turns around, double hand swing, power attack on the bandit leader. So that's 2d12s. Take the higher roll. 12. All right, we're not re-rolling that. So, and that's a +5. So he hits the bandit leader for 17 damage. And it does have 2 points of armor piercing. So he one-shots the bandit leader. So Grim gets stabbed in the back, grimaces, turns around, grips that great axe with all his might, and just splits him right down the middle, and he just falls into pieces. Awesome. No more bandit leader. Great job, Choppa. I'm liking power attacks. All right, that leaves this last bandit standing up on the log. He, I guess, is going to charge. I think he has to charge. It's unclear. You can charge diagonally in this, but I believe they want you to charge. It's unclear whether that's correct or not. So I'm going to play that you can charge diagonally, but I will always choose to charge straight if that's an option. So he's going to charge straight. He gets a +10 to hit on the charge, and otherwise it's similar to a power attack plus shove, I believe. No, that's a hit, 38. So he hits for 1d6, 7 damage in the head. And Choppa does not have... he already used his dodge, which actually he shouldn't have used it from behind anyway. And he has no helmet armor. So he takes 7 damage to the head. So Chopper is down to 9 life and is wounded. So great attack by the bandit, charging down off the tree trunk, stabbing Chopper right in the face. But that's the end of the monster's turns, and I still have 2 activations left. So first we're going to go with the rogue Throat Slitter. See what he can do to that wounded bandit, and he loses his turn. He likewise he sees what happens to Choppa and is just staring his mouth agape, not really knowing what the hell he should be doing. All right. And now we're going to go with Bright Star. Bright Star is going to attack. I forgot to give him his prayers. Let me just do that real quick. Get out his prayer cards. Because he is right next to Choppa, I do actually want to use his heal. Alright. So that's the heal. Plus 2 natural armor. I'm going to take this level. I get to pick 2 level 1 prayers. I'm going to take Matthias Bomb. And Matthias Ward. They're both healing abilities. Matthias Bomb allows him to heal others for 1d6 plus 1. Matthias Ward allows him to heal himself for 1 hit point at the start of his activation for the rest of the battle. So he basically uses regeneration, but it only affects the priest. I think this still gets affected, though, by his Matthias Relic. So it should be 1 hit point plus 1d3. And this definitely does. So we're going to attempt to cast Matthias Bomb, since he is in touch range, on, and this is actually just costs an energy point. It actually doesn't cost an action. It's one of the great things. It's like a perk. So he's going to spend 1 energy point to attempt to cast Matthias Bomb. He has to roll 59 or less. So that is a fail. So he loses 1 energy point. He fails to cast. That's okay. And then he's going to attempt to attack. Actually, he's going to attempt to attack this bandit here that's just like wounded and in between all of them. See if he can finish him off real quick. And he hits on a 54 minus 5, so 49. So that's a miss. And, oh, it's actually a 39 because he's in parry stance. So he will change tacks and he will attempt to hit him. It's actually fine because it's a minus 10 from parry, but it's a plus 10 from the height advantage. You do get height advantage even in melee. So he will attempt to attack this guy, and this time it's 64 minus 5, so 59. And he misses again. All right. So that is the end of that round. Everybody's missing. That's okay. It happens. The idea here is that these ogres are going to go stupid sometimes. But they have enough hit points that they can survive it. And then the priest can heal. And make up the difference. Right? So, but they hit hard. And they hit so hard that they can do serious damage and actually take out a guy or two. So then if you get a couple rounds where they go stupid, like happened last round, 2 of them weren't able to act, it's not that big of a deal. All right, that is going to be for Crasher, who is behind that bandit. So he is going to attack. He gets plus 20 from being behind. So he will hit on a 79 on a 74. 69, that is a hit. And he hits for 2d6. 3 plus 2, so he hits for 5 damage. And that bandit only has 2 life remaining, so that's a kill. That bandit is out of there. And that was his first attack. Let's get rid of that parry stance. And then he can still move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes up here, I believe. Yeah. It's okay, guys. Yeah. Daddy's making a video, playing my board game. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. You guys are... Yeah. You're happy it's morning. It's Saturday. Yeah. All right. I'm going to activate the priest again. Bright Star. And he will attempt, again, to use his Matthias bomb to heal Choppa. 001. So that's a critical. Awesome. So that's... there's actually a special rule for that. I got to look that up. But that does give him... it increases his prayer skill from 59 to 60. So that gives him a permanent bonus. There's... I gotta look that up. There's something called like... It's like an immaculate prayer. There's a special bonus if you... I think it doesn't cost any energy, I think is what it is. $26.80. If successful, the prayer take effect. If the roll is a 1 through a 5, the prayer is impeccable and no energy is spent. Okay, so basically it's a free prayer because it's such a high roll. So he gets +1 to his prayer skill, and then it doesn't cost him a point of energy. And he's going to cast Matthias Bomb, 1d6 +1. So I actually get a d6 and a d3. The black will be the d3. So 4 plus 2. So 6, 7 hit points get healed to Choppa, healing him from 9 to 16. And he's no longer wounded. And that's a free action. I will then attempt to power attack this little guy, this bandit. So power attack, he has height advantage. So 54 plus 20 for the power attack. Brings him to 74 minus... Oh, and then plus another 10 for the height advantage. So 84 with minus 5 from the bandit. So 79. I rolled 100. That's obviously a fail. And I damaged my weapon. So he grips it with all of his strength, trying to get the killing blow, and stabs it right into the tree, cracking his javelin. He overdid it. Got a little overzealous there. So perfect roll, perfect fail. All right, so this guy does get to act. He is still unwounded. So he's going to roll that as a parry. So he's going to attack once. He's going to attack Crasher. 46, I believe, is a hit. Crasher is going to attempt to dodge. 49. Fails. Fails the dodge. So he does hit for D6. 3 damage to the leg. Crasher has no armor, but he has 2. Oh, I forgot about natural armor. Chopper had 1 natural armor. But that's all right. Crasher has 2 natural armor. And that is not armor piercing, so he takes 1 damage to the leg. And then we get to... And then he goes into parry stance. Which I'm just going to flip that because that's about to go away. All right. We're going to go with the throat slitter. He does get to act. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since he's facing forward, this is not part of his zone of control. He's then going to attack from behind. The regular attack is 45. He gets plus 20 from being behind, and it negates his parry stance. Let me attacking from behind. I think it does. I don't think you get to dodge or parry from behind. I'll make sure I'm getting this stuff right. I know you get to plus 20 from being behind. Attacking from behind also loses its 2 hit value. Yep. So attacking from behind is very, very useful. So he's going to lose his... He has a minus 15 to hit because he's in parry stance. But because I'm behind him, he loses that 15. And then I also get a plus 20. And then because he's a rogue, he also ignores all armor. Right? Pretty cool. And if he was a duck rogue, he'd get an additional d6 of damage too. So he has a 45 combat skill, and instead of getting a minus 15, he's going to get a plus 20. So he's going to get a 65. 43, that's a hit. It is only a rapier though, so it's 1d6 plus 3. 6 plus 3, wow. So that's 9 damage. So he sneaks, throat slitter sneaks behind and just stabs him straight through the back. Goes right through the ribs, probably pierces a lung. 9 damage to the bandit, wounding him, leaving him with 3 hit points. Oh. Okay, hold on 1 second. Hey, back. Sorry about that. My dogs are funny. They just... they have the door open, they can go outside. They just choose not to a lot of the time. Oh, I didn't even realize I had a height advantage too. Yeah, wild. All right, so that does, being wounded when you're in parry stance removes your parry stance, by the way, once you take damage. That's true for heroes too, which makes sense. Take a defensive posture if somebody gets through. That's it. All right, so last action is Choppa. He wants revenge for these guys stabbing him in the back. He already killed the bandit leader. Let's see if he can finish off the other guy. So he is going to power attack. Why not? Why not? Give himself the best chance. He just needs a hit. He hits on a 55, 50, so he's going to hit on a 70. 31. That's it. That's a hit. And that's a kill. I don't even need to roll for damage, but I will anyway, just for fun. 10. Yeah, so he hits for 15 damage, which would have one shot. Yeah, 15 damage, which, again, same as before. This guy's already on his last breath because of that rapier going through his ribs. But he just raises his axe up overhead, chops him right through the, right in half, right down the middle, and splits him open. 15 damage. Wow. Crushing it. And I do have some minor injuries. Chopper's missing 4 hit points and Crasher's missing 1. But nothing horrible. And that ends that first blood. So that went very well. I'm very happy with my new party. And I'm going to be playing them going forward. I think they're going to go far. I've learned enough about how this game works that I think I'm going to be just doing just fine. That thing with the threat roll is going to make a massive difference. I will say, if you haven't played yet, it's taking a little bit of a mind shift for me that the way armor and equipment, this is a very like realistic game in its approach to survivability and equipment and things like that. So like, even if you're a wizard, you're not sitting there in like magic robes with a staff. Like, if I was playing a wizard character, you can still give them studded leather armor, you know, full set of studded leather armor with a studded leather helmet, and give him a shield and a javelin. And that is what I would do, so that he can stand behind your warrior and stab people when he's not casting spells. And that's exactly how I would do an alchemist or a priest or a druid, whoever, a rogue, thief. I think the javelin is it's a very, very useful weapon because it has reach. The only other weapon that has reach is a halberd, which is only slightly better. It's a D12 instead of a D10, and it has, I think they both have armor piercing. Yeah, javelin's armor piercing 1. I think a halberd's armor piercing 2. So it's really just a D12 instead of a D10, but you have to two-hand it. And you have to have 55 strength. You only need 30. You only need 30 strength with the one-handed javelin. So it's a very overpowered weapon, in my opinion. That reach is a super, super, super useful. You can use it with a shield. You can use it with a torch. Excuse me, I'm still getting over this cough. Or this cold. All right, so I did kill the 3 bandits and the bandit leader. Let's roll on the table, see what we got. We'll do the bandit leader first. Sorry. Roll 1d10. Oh, almost got a 1. So 9's going to be nothing. 1 would have been something really nice. And then 3 rolls on the tier 1 table. So 2, 20 coins. A 6 is nothing. And a 4 is a bandage. It doesn't say, so I'm guessing that's just the basic bandage, the old rag bandage. So I got 20 coins and a bandage from that, as well as 270, 400 experience. You do not divide experience, they all gain it equally, the full amount. Let me see if there's any quest rewards. The bandits dead, the party decides to gather their gear and continue their travel. They arrive at the settlement without further issues. Head to the settlement chapter and start by rolling for a settlement event. Then decide where this adventure takes your heroes. So that's it. I will be doing spring cleaning once again. It just makes sense. It starts that quest. And I actually did roll Kael'Kirk again for my starting settlement, all the way up at the top left corner. I actually said no way, and I re-rolled it, and it rolled Kael'Kirk again. So I double rolled ones on that. So that is what it is. They want me to start there. God does, I guess. So that's what we'll be doing. And I'm going to be doing a spring cleaning event. Mission again. I highly recommend you always do you start your campaign that way. This one's just free experience, a chance for some loot. I could have gotten some treasures potentially, but the spring cleaning is pretty easy. You don't need rations to rest. It gives you 10 rations and 600 coins when you complete it, and you can do it right in town. You don't have to travel anywhere or do anything like that. And then it starts that campaign that continues at Silver City. So you just want to do that mission first, and then you can do whatever else you want on your way towards Silver City, but that is the beginner's campaign. So anyway, I hope you like my new team. a new campaign. I'm very excited about it, and hope you guys will follow along. Love you guys. You're the best.